Hi. I'd like to clarify a couple of verses that have some people confused. They are Exodus chapter 21, verses 20 and 21. These verses are part of a long list of crimes and their punishments. In this case, we first see the written guidelines for determining whether a death is a murder. The first verse reads, if a man strikes his servant or his maid with a rod and he or she dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. It's very straightforward. The slave's death is obviously due to the beating, and the slave owner is guilty of murder, and he shall be punished. Shall, by the way, is a combination word of should and will, and surely means certainly, so we now have a double affirmative here. And in case you didn't know, the punishment for murder is execution, no matter who you are. Now, here's the confusing part. The second verse reads, but if the servant lives for a day or two, the offender shall not be punished, for he has injured his own property. Why does it say that? Why does it matter how long somebody lives after a beating? Well, the explanation is simple. The longer a person lives after a physical trauma, the less likely the death is related directly to that trauma. In an era with no x-rays, MRIs, EEGs, EKGs, or any other way to look inside the body to see what is wrong, how do we know the cause of death? Well, here is our guideline. We're given a time frame for determining the cause of death and therefore determining whether someone's death is a murder. Also, Hebrew has more than one word for day. In this case, the word for day clearly means 24-hour day. Therefore, according to the ancient language, a slave in question has to live at least 24 hours for the master to be free of punishment. So, for example, if a slave lives for only 20 hours, is that considered murder? Yes, and the owner shall be executed. By the way, the verse never implies that it is acceptable to beat a slave. It says, if this happens, here's your guideline. Remember, this was written before the Israelite nation had any slaves, and you're looking at the first domestic abuse laws, basically, written before Hammurabi's Code. And that's your explanation.